Hello and welcome to BikeWale. I am Neil, and in today's video we have two motorcycles that have changed the perspective of what Royal Enfield stands for globally. On my left is the Super Meteor 650 that was recently launched, and to my right is the Interceptor 650. And if you are wondering where is the Continental GT 650, that motorcycle caters to a completely different audience. These, on the other hand, even with different body styles, have very similar abilities. Or do they? While this isn't an outright comparison between the two, we will convey to you which of the two will better suit your needs and why you should pick one over the other. Now it is pretty evident with just one look that the Super Meteor and the Interceptor are two different motorcycles. The Super Meteor is molded from an inspiration of the classic American cruiser. Think of the Harley-Davidson Road King or the Bonneville Speedmaster from Triumph. Yes, it is arguably also closer in design to the smaller Meteor 350, but the color schemes offered with the Super Meteor, especially the dual-tone options, bring back the nostalgia of the 80s. And thanks to the stretched wheelbase, bulbous fuel tank and side panels, and those long and low exhaust pipes, the motorcycle looks imposing and has immense road presence. You wouldn't be able to miss out on the chrome glaring at you in the sun, but it does come with a few blacked out parts for a flake of modernity. The Interceptor sports equal amounts of chrome too. It rides on spoke wheels instead of alloys. But unlike the Super Meteor, the Interceptor leans towards the modern retro side of things. Its comparatively edgier and minimal bodywork deceptively hides its curb weight, the sign of a proper retro street motorcycle. However, when it comes to quality, both motorcycles feel well built. The plastics are well fitted, look sturdy, and do look like they would stand the test of time. Even the paint finish looks premium, while the welds and even the wiring that pop out aren't an eyesore. The mark of a typical cruiser is to offer luscious amount of comfort from its seat, a laid-back ride, and a handlebar that is shaped like it is served to you on a platter. And the Super Meteor ticks all of those boxes with the smoothness of an ink pen. Even the pillion comfort is spot on here. The seat is wide and accommodating, and you'd even get the backrest if you choose the touring variant. Getting on and off isn't an issue here, nor is having your feet on the ground. But if you are under 5'7", that would pose a challenge on the Interceptor. The Interceptor stays true to its character and offers an upright and bare-chested riding position. This comes from its straight handlebar and neutral set foot pegs. Its seat, however, isn't as comfortable as the one on the Super Meteor, and that is because it tapers towards the tank, which could be slightly uncomfortable for larger riders. That said, you would find the foot pegs digging into your shin when you have both your feet down in traffic. Well, that is not the case with the Super Meteor. However, you would definitely feel the heft of the 240 kilo motorcycle with your feet down. All of this weight seems to be centered around the engine itself, making it difficult to move around and put it on the main stand easily. Comparatively, the Interceptor is 40 kilos lighter. While it is still heavy, the weight isn't as intimidating. The ergonomics of the Super Meteor 650 is a good package for the well-paved poster highways and scenic views by the side. We are going to be going on a long-distance tour on the motorcycle soon, so you better stay tuned for that. Now, the suspension dams the dips and crests in the road well. Although with a stiff setup and almost no room to adjust preload at the rear, the suspension kicks back, making for an extremely uncomfortable ride over patches in the tarmac and pothole roads. Even the addition of a near 70 kilo pillion did not sort things out much. On the other hand, the Interceptor's suspension setup is relatively pliant at the rear and is manageable over bad roads and bridge joints. Don't get me wrong, it still feels stiff but won't threaten to throw you off the motorcycle. Now, one of the major downsides to the Super Meteor 650 is its low ground clearance. At 135 mm, we found that the Super Meteor 650's underbelly managed to scrape on most speed bumps, especially if you're riding with a pillion. That is not the case with the Interceptor 650, whether you're riding solo or with a pillion or even with additional luggage. While there are very few vibrations on both motorcycles, the wind buffeting on the Super Meteor despite the large windscreen was a horrid experience. We have given an affordable solution to this in the road test video. Surprisingly, the Interceptor felt much more comfortable to ride on the highway without any wind protection. Now when it comes to the list of features, the Super Meteor is clearly 2 steps ahead of the Interceptor 650. Royal Enfield have upped their game with the Cruiser and for the first time ever equipped their motorcycle with an LED headlamp. Also, as a first for any Royal Enfield motorcycle, the Super Meteor comes with upside-down forks from Showa. Other than these pieces of equipment, the list of features also includes the Tripper navigation system, which is the first among the 650 range. Nevertheless, Royal Enfield hasn't skimped out on offering a whole range of accessories for both motorcycles, and this would change the comfort and style of both. The Celestial variant that we have here comes with this touring windscreen, touring seat and backrest as standard. The Interceptor meanwhile does not have a specific variant as such and would require you to specifically pick out the accessories you want to put on. Both the Interceptor and the Super Meteor 650 come with the same 648cc parallel twin engine. However, there is a difference in the intake ports and the exhaust canister, which is why they both have a distinctive sound. Let's start off with the Interceptor. Now moving on to what the Super Meteor sounds like. Now the character of the engine on the Super Meteor and the Interceptor are nearly the same. It feels refined for the most part and has ample amounts of torque available across the rev range to keep you entertained with brisk acceleration almost every time you dial in throttle. What's more, the gearboxes are super slick and you wouldn't experience the frustration of not finding neutral, which comes in with a nice soft click. The motor is also useful at slow speeds, willing to tread as low as 30 km per hour in 4th gear without much of a shudder. Out on open stretches of road, the Super Meteor as well as the Interceptor feels unstrained up to 120 km per hour. After this, there is a minor buzz on the handlebar, which is more on the Super Meteor than the Interceptor thanks to the windscreen fitment. That said, the Super Meteor's 240 kg curb weight is visible during acceleration. There is only a slight bit of lag, but the difference is evident when compared to the Interceptor, which is a whole 40 kilos lighter. Nevertheless, the Super Meteor handles like a charm around corners. It tips in effortlessly despite its weight and commits to its line. You do have to coax it a bit, but once there, the bike's low center of gravity and long wheelbase will have you flowing through corners. Meanwhile, the Interceptor is relatively peppier in its handling. It feels nimble and easy to maneuver even in tight traffic, a place where the Super Meteor struggles. On corners too, the Interceptor feels confidence-inspiring and a treat to be on. To put things into perspective, let's begin with the pricing. The Super Meteor 650 starts at 3.49 lakh. And the top spec Celestial variant that you see here, that is kitted with all the touring accessories, is priced at 3.79 lakh. On the other hand, the Interceptor costs a whole 61,000 rupees lesser than the base model of the Super Meteor. If you want something that is lighter, has more ground clearance and better ride quality, the Interceptor is your pick. That said, It also is a better handling motorcycle between the two and has peppier engine performance. Well, the reason for the Super Meteor's character is because it is focused on global markets that have better roads and fewer speed breakers. So, which of the two are you going to pick? Not only us, but I'm pretty sure Royal Enfield also wants to know. Let us know in the comments below.